to be able to dictate how this game is going to go.
Empezó, cállate, mis. Busta, no te quiero. Mira.
Minnesota
Y
Rokkr,
grita, que
day
es lo más
3 kicked
brutal.
off. Let's get it on.
Me regañaron.
¿A quién te le das, mis?
But Nero, can he respond? And here we go. Minnesota setting the tempo.
al Violeta.
Ah, tremendo. Buena.
Influencing spots before stop, right? With a little bit of display. Yeah, I'm letting you know right now. If you let Nero do what he did yesterday, Toronto are not going to have a good time. He was single-handedly just making so many clutch
Es que
moments,
ese
so many clutch
chamaquito
kills.
lo sigue dando.
Teammates to dominate the respawns they did
Ay, yo lo
yesterday.
voy a
But
dar.
25 seconds still
En verdad, yo lo
for
voy a
your
dar.
FP.
Yo también lo voy a ultra.
Currently in control of Ultra,
¿Quién?
but if you're Rokkr, you just play keyway at least for now.
¿Qué tú crees? Rokkr sí.
Dominating over towards Catwalk with a couple of extra shots down low. And he wants blood for 5.
Pero
In a
Raven
row, but shut
se, no
down.
sé, Raven
Toronto
lleva cuántos
over
juegos
recovery.
perdidos
Here's
cogido
the
como
next
8.
lines to focus on rotation also coming through his insight wins a critical 1v1.
Ah, sí,
That's a
un
big
buen
3 dead at the right
equipo,
time. Now off the rotation, you're going to be fully set
Vamos,
up.
Kenny.
Decent number of numbers
Kenny.
on this side of the map. Kenny tries to make it a little bit mixy, but only is able to take down one. But now you have
Diablo.
long routes already being developed from Gio. He's going to allow his teammate to spawn in towards the back, but Toronto read it perfectly.
I gotta say again, when we started off this weekend, Toronto was the worst team in the league by rank this stage in rotating. They are now up to 4th, just based on the results that they've had in the first 2 days. And this is another moment where not only do they rotate well, they're not getting even close to being broken. First 30 seconds clean for Ultra.
Yeah, just remember Rokkr
Los
having played
Kleenex
this
va
map as
9-1,
this
¿qué es
with
eso?
Kenny into the lineup. They prefer themselves some everything else, Hacienda and
Como el
Skyline.
chamaco va
but
9-1 y
first
nunca
time
lo viene en
testing it
POV.
here at the major. They cannot find success on their breaks. This has been a flawless hold here from Ultra. With 20 seconds left, you might have to just cut your losses, rotate new.
Problem is, you're stuck at pool right now, Jay. So it's like you don't just want to cut and just go right back to the middle of the map.
¿Ves
You
bien
want to
el
try to zone off these
director del
exits, and that's
Discord?
exactly what comes
A ver,
through.
bojoso.
Nice moment here for Rokkr. Gives them some breathing room on rotation
Yo lo veo
over to
bien.
P3. Mercury's able to scout out one, clean shots, deals with it, and here we go again. Toronto an
Mercury's hay
opportunity to
4.
win rotation.
And realistically now, if you're Rokkr, you are banking on this P3 to P4 rotation. Just don't give up time here at this hard point. Try to play keep away as long as you can and insight
Cuando te
the
insight.
big picture. Let me
Oye.
work the deep route. Let me pull some players from Minnesota Rokkr to put their attention on me and just allow my teammates to soak up that time.
And really, outside of the opening break-off, Minnesota have been stonewalled
Yeah.
everywhere else,
Mercury's
including
Llevo
over the top of this third hard
también.
point, as Toronto are ripping them apart. 8-5, 5-4, 10-4. The stat line looking clean for Ultra.
And the spawn's already flipped.
No,
There's
pero
30
ahí
seconds
Insight
left
puede
for
estar
your
en
P3,
peligro.
but you did the job early on if you're Ultra. Now you just got to hold it down because
Todo
Rokkr find
depende
all the
si
kills in the
Insight
kill
el
feed. They're
líder o
taking a
algo
lot of space
así.
away. You have every single one of your teammates
No sé, tendrán
spawning
que
over
probar.
towards R, but every
Ah,
kill
ya,
is
ya,
massive,
esa era
and
nada.
Nero's able to find two.
Yeah, you don't expect that off of a Semtex, so now an opportunity for Minnesota to use their numbers to move across the
Oh,
map.
Dios
Just
mío.
sees the
Oh,
window.
Dios.
Double from JD.
Señor
And that
papá
will
Dios.
stabilize not only on the rotation, but
puedo
even
añadir.
particularly over the scrap time of 3 Ultra clean.
Yeah, and that's a big moment
me
right there
sale.
because Rokkr, with that double kill coming in from
para ver
Nero,
si me lo
they
merecí.
had the numbers. They were
cabrón,
already
¿por qué no me
influencing
diste
spawns for them
tu
to have the numbers
número?
off the rotation. But Jodeci's with that double allows them to stabilize over towards out, and now they win the roto over towards the money hill. Minnesota forced to break their way through art. They already know where they're going to be. Everything is getting invested in.
Ah,
Inside
diablo,
has a
Inside.
couple freebies lined up.
And now you've got full clearance right down the P4 street, and Ultra already over 100 points. Let's see how the new kid is vibing as we head to a Toronto Ultra. Listen in.
Jodido, Kenny.
Imagínate ese equipo con scraps todavía.
Ahora mismo estuviese desastroso. Bueno, sería. ¿Cómo sería? Mercury, Jodeci, Scrap y Kleenex. Estaría asqueroso, no es por nada. Pero yo no sé quién sería el manager. Mercury parece ser bastante rápido con la R. Y se cambia para la sub de vez en cuando. Se jodió. Uy, diablo Kleenex. Ay, Kleenex. Ay, Kleenex. Ay, Kleenex. Uy, Kenny. Se jodió, murieron. ¡Embuste! ¡No! ¡Qué diablo! ¡No! Este tipo está hecho. No, denle en el trofeo ya, Ultra. Ya, désenlo. Vete pa'l carajo.
One could play.
I'm twice to the P frame.
Yo, back away,
Yeah, stop cat.
What P-Phase,
go for house.
Go, Tommy. Back listen,
What's
back
up,
up to
cat,
I'm streak, okay? Keep me second. Play cat, boys, I'll streak.
Trying to get this.
Diablo, mano, este juego de verdad se explotó, loco. Ese es glitch, mira, así se me enganchó.
Okay, listen, one time, in mid,
Yo ni sabía que era posible. ¡Clase misil!
Ahorita ya sé eso cada rato. Si me echa ahí, se me cara.
Still pulling top.
Ay, tío. Ya lo estamos jugando bien, loco. Anda, por carajo.
What are we talking about right now? Toronto look like the best version of themselves at the moment, and it's with a new guy in the lists, and everything has just been so cool, so calm, and Joe is just hiding out. I'll get the hard point time, boys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, everything's so fluent, and then even the energy is coming at the right time. They're knowing, okay, I'm only gonna calm like that when we got 3 to 4 dead and we're guaranteeing the hold. But with Kleenex having the start that he is, Jodeci's finessing the way that he is. Also, 2 minutes in the hill, Mr. Objective. Ultra find themselves up by 100. Already have arc control as well for this P3 to P4 rotation, and they're fully set up.
Aquí está 11-19, 9-19 Miro, está negativo.
Minnesota not away
Es que Joe está...
into this hard point at the moment.
No, brother, es que... ¿Sabes qué es lo más brutal? Si Rokkr pierde esto, porque ahora mismo... Ahora mismo al Optic ser eliminado, ellos están peligrando para la última silla de chance. Y lo que están debajo de él es Rokkr y Cloud9. Si ellos ganan punto y pueden bajar a Optic a la posición número 9 que no cualificarían para Champ. Que eso está feo si ellos no cualifican. Todavía queda una semana de qualifier y después otro major, pero tienen que ganar ahora, no pueden perder ni una.
El próximo medio se va a mostrar con tiempo.
Obligado, sí. Si nada funciona. Y te ven acá, cabrón, nada acá, porque ustedes no saben jugar.
We need a full 60, and already the first kill goes in favor of Kleenex, so you gotta try to make something happen if you're Nero. Get aggressive through the front door, catch the timing. Can you win the second? No, Kleenex gets the better of you. Then at least your teammates are able to win every
Quién
other
sabe, loco, yo
gunfight.
siento que ese chamaco
Cannot get any time
es que él tiene el
last
goni y
go
la
at
actitud.
P4, but so far 20 seconds uncontested.
Ah, no, yo sé, pero eso tú le das 2 semanas y
The
ya.
forward he plays, the more likely the spawn's being moved around, and there we go. Split spawns over to the backside of this. 30 seconds to fight for. Kleenex on 5. Joe able to secure onto Nero, and that's going to be a flip. I don't want to point just to Estro for that, but it's a risky play, and Toronto will get a flip
Ultra.
power point.
It's just when they take that much space.
Aunque quisiera que Rokkr ganara, pero en verdad no veo que gane.
So they just win the majority of those trades. You can already see it.
El
Kleenex is
chamaquito
on
este
5
de
in a row.
verdad.
Joe is on 4.
Loco,
Now you're gonna walk away with this final
No,
20
es que yo
seconds,
siento
still keep the
que,
lead.
no sé
Pretty
si
happy
es
on
como
your
que las
end.
cons de él o de la manera que él juega, pero Kleenex ha jugado 10 veces mejor desde que él está jugando.
Oh my God.
And Joe, 8 in a row, just blows away Kenny with some hip fire. And now you're dealing with, again, an 80-point game. Looking back over to
Oye, el chamaquito se lo dije, ellos jugaron el jueves y se lo dijeron el mismo juego a las 8 de la mañana.
And this is why it's tough to like match their pacing because Mercury's is capable of doing things like this, going from an AR to an SMG, always being in the mix. You're holding out
Lo que
top
pasa es que
cat,
tiene un
waiting for
contrato de
your
2
team to get
semanas
back
ahora
into
mismo
the
con
play,
Ultra.
but the timing
So,
doesn't
ahora
work
mismo
out.
Ultra
Extra
tiene
is
derecho a
better.
ese chamaco.
Minnesota's still fighting.
Sí.
Every kill,
Ahora,
big kill,
si
though,
otros
just trying to keep
equipos
the
quieren
right side of the game
conseguirlo,
alive.
tienen que
Minnesota
comprárselo a
are
Ultra.
getting a pretty solid read on what these spawns are looking
Y
like
Ultra
right now
puede
for
decidir
Ultra.
quedárselo.
This is a critical moment, though. 20 seconds to fight for at P1, sure, but a lot of this has to be focused on rotation, and Astral shuts down another rotation from Ultra.
Se lo pegó.
Here as they stick out of team nade, and here we go. Minnesota cooking, and they're going to be set up for P2.
This is looking like the Rocket that we saw all early on.
Pero
in
estoy
stage
un
one,
poquito
when they
atrás,
were
Gravity, por si acaso. Un poquito no, bastante.
Up by 100, but they start to turn it around.
Del
Down
live
by
feed actual.
50. Let's step aside and go to listening with Minnesota.
Ah, por eso mismo, por eso mismo. Ah, diablo, espérate, no estamos hablando mierda, pero esta gente puede entrar al juego.
I'm staying down. All the back. You chop right, you chop right. Short of me, bro. One shot spark. I'm a truck. Two truck. Short.
Ya, diablo, el challenge. Anda, el diablo. No, Estrella está.
I'm sure.
No, espera. Yo creo que ahí hizo overheat. Oye, cogieron todo este tiempo, olvídate de eso.
Ya está por empezar el juego, ¿no?
Fácil.
You should look shrink. Yeah, you should.
No jodas, que va a ser
I'm stunning him. One was top part. One to go. I'm hovering my shrink.
Y aquí ya se llevó los dos. ¿Cómo? Game 1, sí.
Nice job, bro. Bottom go.
Dímelo, Ena. ¿Cómo estamos, chicas? ¿Cómo estuvo ese día? Ya, lo pueden hacer, sí.
Tight moment, 232, 213. Toronto still getting a little bit of time here on P3, but the big focus is what happens towards new. Keep your eye on the new kid. Hercules 1v1 win. He can get the P.
Ah, no te creo.
That is a massive play right there out of the Rook. You're not to be able to work the overextension and find a double. And now you give your team the opportunity to close out the game. You just need one set of kills here at P4.
Insight catches the first. Trade right there from Estriel. In the hard point, though, our Ultra. Mercury's trying to watch the cross. Has to worry about too much, though. And now Minnesota are starting to funnel around the back. A chance to pinch this up. Nade stuns all being tossed. Trying to kill off time. It's Kleenex. Back to the front. Mercury's here to join him. Off the reload. Oh!
No, Kleenex. No. Mira, no.
May have just made the
Ya
game-winning
rompieron.
play.
Ganaron.
Side door. Kenny waits for help, but he can't wait for long. You gotta go. You gotta get in. You gotta touch. 249, 250.
Ah, qué duro.
Last kill in Toronto on the board.
Diablo, Kleenex jugó, cabrón, loco.
Clutch up in around 11. Now with the more aggressive player in Mercury, you
verdad.
better believe the pace is going to be there. And Nero's going to instantly switch it on up. Kenny finds the first blood, Nero strikes for the second, and you instantly have the numbers. This is a quick round.
Yeah, Ultra was trying to play through the A site. They didn't have anyone watching over towards that connector to glass.
Creo que me cancelaron el plan. Yo digo creo porque me dijeron que te confirmen 30 minutos y ya pasó una hora. Digo lejos, bueno, el plan era lejos.
Merc's able to find one.
Pero, todavía no te han dicho nada.
For the rookie, but he is going to be surrounded by Minnesota.
Llama y confirma.
Tremendously fast there, and already you can see the
Yo
adjustments
olvidé
to
que
their
trabajas
setup. They
también
were taking their
sábado.
time early on in gens. Darrow says, no, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm just going to go right through.
Bit of a blind counter, I think, in certain ways, too, because Ultra are diving straight in to try to contest the laundry hole, whereas no one's really staying back in courtyard to watch for any sort of a play through that side
Quiero
hallway
parecer
again. So,
intensa.
this
Era
works out nicely for Minnesota,
ha
but
pasado una
first
hora.
blood tallied cleanly. You get A site control. You put Toronto in a weird spot where they're split, and there's just no way you respond to it. So, good tempo setter there for Minnesota.
Vamos allá.
Now Ultra looking for the response. Probably still don't have any trophy systems to work with.
Miss, todavía le va a los violetas.
Be aggressive through gens. Take their time on the approach. Insight gets information they have parted their way through the middle of the map. Let's just back on out, potentially work B Street.
Yeah, there's an opportunity there for Ultra to decide if they wanted to try to challenge inside of A like Minnesota did, or come back and make sure Insight stays alive. They choose the latter of the two options. Joe still gets a little bit of a look over the top of the A site, but it's very marginal. So, yep, this is exactly what you call JP Street wide open. They're getting the read. Now they're making the play.
Yeah, because they saw Minnesota continuing to edge on forward. So, all right, you're going to keep pushing us. We'll just hit the rotation to the opposite side. Now, if you're Kleenex, can you strike the first blood and get out? He's able to find it. Bomb is planted. Man advantage Ultra.
Oh, and he's got a read of a flank freebie for Kleenex. Expect another? Yeah, well, now he does. See Kenny and clean shots.
¿De qué?
Kenny down to a single bullet. It'll finish him off. No
Claro, loco, se llevó a 3.
Joe DeCease
¿Que se escucha cómo?
round for Ultra.
Yeah, see the way that Minnesota are wanting to play this is just non-stop aggression.
Bueno, así lo dicen,
dicen
Kleenex is the issue with a teach
keep on taking space. We'll continuously keep on backing up, and the more aggressive you are, we'll take the opposite side
Que
of the
ay,
map.
no me gusta molestar, dejo que la gente haga lo suyo, pero en fin, ando vestida, arreglada y todo, viendo. Así que tiene buen público ahora. Ah, ¿viste? Ah, porque que se tarde esa persona lo más que quiera entonces.
That's the thing with Ultra too, just to kind of keep in the back of your mind, even with Mercury.
Pero aún así, esperar una hora sin saber si va a llegar. No, se lo va a apretar.
They are very successful.
Oye, pero aprecio mucho que estés viendo esto, aunque
So that
estoy seguro que no
is recipe
entiendes
for
nada.
success in that last round. Works out nicely. And here we go again. Quick aggression coming through. This time, Minnesota not playing through gens, looking to overwhelm through laundry and the top platform at DVD. But Ultra firmly planted, and Joe's going to try to get a little bit further forward. He's got good help around him, and first blood comes through with the follow-up from Kleenex as well.
Oh, Kenny's at least able to find one. Can Joe find the second? Yes, he does on Nero. Kenny left in a 1v3, positioning already known. Knocked down to 2 HP
Hi,
in
Kenny.
a dream. He's
Vete
trapped.
pa' Kentucky.
GG on the round.
Scuff game controller. Keep your eye on the,
AFC.
on the Y button.
Should be highlighted
Should-
full white.
well,
like,
it is
at all
always. It
times.
pretty much is, yeah.
It's Kenny. You know.
We were joking about that in the green room. It's like, if the Scuff controller was on when we got on Kenny POV.
Gravity, ¿te quedarías con Merc?
Tough situation, 1v3, especially just considering that Minnesota, again, they try for
Ah, yo
aggression,
creo
but
que
in a
sí,
different way.
man.
Modifying
Pero ¿a
and
quién tú
molding
dropearías?
Ultra
¿Inside o
too
Bean?
clean with getting the read, getting the kills.
Claro está, de todo
boosting
depende de cómo
just don't
cómo
get
hagan
caught
este
off
fin de
guard.
semana,
Just
¿verdad? Pues si
like,
ganan,
doesn't
pues
matter this time, just
se jodió
breaking
Bean, se va a quedar con las Crocs
being
puestas.
super aggressive and catching them off guard and try to play it through laundry.
Sí, pero eso es
Don't just
Beans.
get cut down. Joe
Dios,
hits
exacto,
on
sí,
that
eso es
first
Beans.
gunfight, catches him with a nade in
Hace
his
que
hand, and at the
el
same time,
chamaquito
he also
usa
uses
más
the
la
nade,
submachine
so
más que Beans.
the numbers early on in favor of Ultra have gave them the advantage. and
Pero es
this
claro
time
que
they're just gonna
Inside
slow
es
it
mini,
down.
ya es más
Trying to play
lento el
this double
equipo.
stack of ARs over towards Burger Street. They get a look at one member down the road. Nades toss, but a trophy system denies it.
Yo pienso
And
que
yeah, the
depende
focus
de lo que vaya
continues to
pasando.
still be
Como
the
quién
ARs
sabe,
trying to play.
Sí, si ganan este evento, pues ni modo.
Kenny at least somewhat caught out, but the problem is you've got help on the near side, and that's Nero
Yeah,
inside
diablo.
of Burger.
Echa
First
para
blood
atrás.
for Minnesota.
Yeah, they were trying to avoid the
Clean.
isolation,
Yeah,
but Kenny is able to put down
Ha
shots on
pasado.
his teammate Nero for the kill, and then also find the second.
Ha pasado. En Vanguard pasó con el equipo de LG que estaba slashing. Gunless no pudo asistir por problemas de salud. Spark sustituto, última hora y ganaron.
Está feo por problemas de salud.
Y Gunless no era que estaba jugando mal y pues lo sacaron del equipo porque ni modo. loco.
Isn't impossible to pull back. It just comes down to
Yo
do you get a read
no
on
estoy
what this
seguro.
defense
Este,
looks like
Toronto, este
around
equipo de
the
Toronto
A
yo creo que
side.
ninguno. Bueno, Joe es el único americano.
No. Gunfights, they're pretty smart
No,
on
yo
this setup
sí
right
que
now.
americano,
20
yo
seconds
creo.
left. You're
Que,
banking on
no,
the
por eso
information
mismo que
and
Joe es el
playing
único
off that.
americano. Y
Rokkr
Mercury,
gonna be
claro
going
está.
over towards B. Kent
Pero
inside.
Inside-
This one up on the back end. No, he does not. Gio wins
Pero
it.
yo
1v3. You
no
know
estoy
he's
seguro
playing
que
the
Vince
bomb.
es
He's just
americano.
gonna trap him again. Easy round there for
Yo
Rokkr.
creo que Vince es de Europa,
Good
igual
stuff
que
from Rokkr. I
Kleenex
think that's
y
another one of those rounds you
Inside.
look at from the defensive setup for Minnesota, and it's different in a lot of ways. They're still playing with aggression, but you just don't expect
hay que
Nero to be
poder
playing
hacer una salida
through
por ahí,
Burger
en
like that
fin.
when Kenny's is holding over.
Llama,
towards
llama,
Burger.
llama.
You think that he's the only one defending that side of the map, so that's why you try to isolate with the two ARs.
¿Qué?
And then Nero says surprise
Dame 4 puntos de tu cara.
and finds first blood.
Que te dé 4 puntos.
Teamwork and the communication and the chemistry starting to develop after some time. Spade and switching to perfection to strike for the
Y
first
ya, no
kill.
me importa, dejaré.
Give yourself the early numbers.
Oye,
and
no, pero
finish.
aprovecha, si
Kenny
ya
with the
estás
raw
allí,
knowledge, just find that
preparada,
second
sigue por ir
immediately.
para abajo, a
All
otros
tied
planes.
up at two.
¿Cuántos puntos tú tienes del canal?
Rokkr
Eso no se pregunta.
back on the offense.
Tú debes tener.
Gonna go back to their go-to strat through gents.
Yep, same exact route from Nero. Nothing seen over the top of
Este
A.
Dark,
What do
que
you do here for
lo
Minnesota?
llamaste, loco, tú eres un puerco.
Sure feels that they want to, but they may have seen Mercury's on the cross. Good shot.
No me sorprendería que le escribiste por teléfono y todo.
Minnesota will back away, reset, keep this 4v3.
No, 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 no. Dark, dime la verdad. A
A
nombre de mono fue. Ah, sí fue. Qué clase mamao. ¿Dónde está el mono ese?
They get the first kill. Now you have the man advantage. You're just looking for the timing to get
Ay,
the check
Kleenex.
down.
Ay, Kleenex. Ay, qué buena.
Kleenex slips away, looking for maybe a little bit of help from inside, trying to get the trade, but not going to work out.
No.
And now it's just on to Jamie Craven for the 1v3.
Oye, Eni, ¿te fuiste en la moto?
So you probably want to try to locate an SMG if you can.
Yo lo escucho para ahora, te lo prometo.
Every single one of these engagements, he's at least able to gain some info, but the bait is switched too strong. 1v3, Minnesota Rokkr. Again with the aggression, finds success on
Tomaré eso como
offense.
no.
But again,
No lo
another different
panty
setup when it
roto.
comes down to you put Nero into a good spot. You
No lo
don't see
sigan, no lo
anything over the
sigan.
top inside the A site. So what's your next layer to that?
Eso
And
te ve
it's about making sure
roto.
no one peeks you from that inside door. I don't know if they get a read through Long Street or not, but regardless, they catch Merc.
No, that's the thing. They didn't have a
Debe
great
ser lo
advantage
mejor.
because Kenny this time around doesn't play through
Dark,
the
¿cómo
alley.
estuvo
He
ese
actually
día?
backs up and goes through B Street.
Dark,
they
me
were
habías
aware
dicho
that
que era el
this is over.
27,
We give them
no,
that opportunity,
21,
they're gonna
20
take
y
it.
21 de
We're most
junio.
likely going to lose the round, so they play a lot safer on that first contact.
La canción continúa, Ena, pero
Just keep the numbers on their
agradezco a
side.
Miss que no haya continuado.
3 in a row there for Gio. Ultra back on the
Ah, qué bueno.
offense. Now we're
Ay, se
going
jodió
back.
Kleenex.
Double hit immediately coming through. Team shots come out. Nashville takes advantage of that. Even though the first blood comes away of Ultra, there's too much team shooting coming through. Hercules responding, but nice shots out of Kenny. Follow up though from Insight. Takes us to immediately into a
Uno contra
1v1.
uno.
Nashville just trying to create some noise. Tagged up. Insight trying to hunt. Has collected the bomb. and we'll reset the 1v1.
Can Subside find the timing? Zestrio's just trying to stall out the game clock. I think Inside might have been able to spot him on the cross. Working through his spawn and plays the perfect corner. The vet.
Qué esquinita más buena,
Ice is search and destroy. Gets that one done there for Ultra. Tie game.
Yeah, he must have caught a little bit of a
Like a spectator gets someone.
Uno te va a salir brilloso.
You saw him.
No, pero espérate, Gravity, no lo abras.
He was able to react right in time.
Va a salir uno nuevo
That's a
en
really
4
good
días.
bounce back though from Toronto. Again, first blood comes through, but that play from Minnesota.
No
through
estoy seguro de
Jens
qué, pero salen
Alley,
paquetes nuevos.
you delete everybody. Hercules gets a key trade, and technically that's an inside one too.
Sí, sí, yo estoy igual. Yo tengo que hacer, voy a abrir 10 paquetes, pero voy a esperar.
What is Minnesota Rokkr develop now after, again, a very aggressive setup with Nero has gotten forward.
Tito, sabemos que lo
This
mete
time
chavo.
Kenny
Voy
out
a
towards
estar
the lane, just
buscando.
watching to see if anyone crosses towards dumpster. And yeah, a little bit more of a delayed hit here from Minnesota, just holding at Gen still.
Yeah, this is a different look build from Ultra as well. Camp out towards courtyard. Give anyone anything.
No puedo creer que lo buscaste.
Rokkr are taking their time because the stun connects. If nothing connects, then you're just flying your way on through. But 30 seconds already go by. Now we're going to be.
Yeah, this is all about trying to isolate courtyard right now. Defensive nades coming through. Gio impacted by a stun. Inside, keeping himself safe for the trophy system at the long range angle.
No.
And Toronto, I think they're just watching, crossing angles. They're just trying to check to see if anyone moves inside this A site. Estriel, good look over towards JD.
Kenny con dos, Kenny con dos.
Shuts down the play and now makes this A site very safe.
Now, if you are Hercules, can you potentially find the timing to work your way through the middle of the street?
Cabrón, ¿qué
You're
pasó?
able to
Porque
slip
dijo
on that,
oh.
but Estriel already reads it.
Diablo.
You're able to give the info to your teammates and find the trade.
Ando pa'l
Rokkr,
carajo.
again, ice up on another offense.
That was such a critical moment in timing because Kenny gives away that
Era, tira
position through
foto,
street
envía
side
mensaje de que
right as
estás
soon as
aquí
Ultra
y
started
cuando
to
te
build their
vayas,
way
envía
through
mensaje que te
same
va.
rate. Like you call Estriel, he reads no one's in courtyard anymore. We
Ya lo escucha para ahora, mono, lo hago ahora.
Just takes a little peek.
Oye, Ena, pero esto fue trabajo,
And the
esto
crazy
es...
thing, like, if you're Ultra, that's around you're definitely going to want
Sé
that.
yo.
Because
Salida
find
normal.
that first belong to Gio. When his arrow turns from the front side to the back side of the 18 wheel, I'm pretty sure he's able to see size 18 sticking out the left, so the wall
Va a seguir. Estoy diciendo que está
a little
intenso.
bit earlier, you don't have to get aggressive through court.
Ah, es normal. Ah, yo pensé que era trabajo, pero estaba tan sorprendido.
You're able to counter it now into the next round, instant aggression towards B
Mándalo para el
Street.
I
carajo
love this
entonces.
on Ultra. They know they've only had a single defender outside, but he lost track of Jens. So Nero's trade
Adiós, ese es afanador.
was this initial push from Ultra. Now we're into a 2v2 with a lot of question marks. Hercules just playing on top of the big rig. I don't know if he saw Estriel on the full cross, but he's thinking maybe he did, and sure does, but misses a bullet or two. That's enough for everything to kind of reset, and now it's
Ah,
Nero's
loco.
turn.
Qué timing. Diablo.
Shoot those C's right into the back, and now Hercules going to
No.
on the one-on-one.
Ah, qué
The
bueno.
stun connects. He's able to find the kill.
No
and
te
he
creo.
also gets
Sube,
the
sube,
get out.
sube.
Ah!
No. Le dieron break al chamaquito a clochar, no puede ser.
Reset, Nero, one beat swole, Hercules, dancing,
Ay,
tries to take
María.
the gunfight.
Gracias a Dios.
Does not come through, but
Pero vaya, Niro está sonriendo. Yo sabía que...
round number 8 to finish it off in a 5-3 tally for Minnesota.
Ay,
I thought
ay.
once
Todo
Mercury's
bien,
in
Mono, ¿y
the
tú?
spot, Estriel
Trabajando.
crossing back through their spawn. You want to try to isolate that gunfight because that's the only information that you already found.
Teammates, what the fuck are you doing?
Not able to find
¿Qué
that
estás viendo,
kill.
mis?
They get flanked by Nero. Then in a one-on-one, you know that Nero's looking for that chow. He's always looking for the chow. Wins the one-on-one, secures the round there for Rokkr. Now they're at game point.
Yeah, a couple of bullets into the new
Me parece
guy.
un sábado
Yeah,
espectacular,
yeah,
Elena.
take that every day, twice on Sunday. 5-3 count. Is there any level of a curse here for Ultra to get back into this?
Know how
One?
to push.
They're going to play with aggression.
Diablo.
Delayed hit here for Minnesota. Immediately
Yeah,
punished.
diablo.
Should be around to win here for Ultra unless Kenny can find some crossing angles for some freebies.
Yeah, these delay hits so far haven't been the recipe for success for Rokkr. No. Now into 4v2, the ARs are already going to be trapped. Gio is going to fall at the same time that Kenny does. So the aggression there, the answer for Ultra, taking DVDs away.
Healers.
To find that first kill, Jodeci set up on the same creddy angle that he was.
Visualmente sí
The
está
first
quedando
round
mucho la
when he caught
gente. El
Gio
problema eres
slipping.
tú.
But Ultra,
Healers and don't fucking heal the tank.
And really, if you kind of evaluate Ultra's defense on that aggressive play in through A, the
God
only time it's really
damn
been
it.
countered was the first round
Hey.
where
Yeah, when
Nero
they went to
hits
Gen.
through Gen.
Porque
Yeah,
me dieron hasta el MVP.
So that setup seems to be a byproduct of some Pretty stable success for the defense. But the question mark is going to be, what do you call here on the
¿Qué
defense?
carajo pasó ahí?
Really not finding a tremendous amount of
Cabrón,
success
soy
here in the last
tanque, los
couple of
cabrones no me
opportunities.
gilean, se van para el carajo a gilear el
I think
damage.
playing early on for the information. Like you saw the very first.
Tiene en medio peleando con dos damage en tanque.
This time it's
Ese
Estrio
problema eres tú.
instantly for that first
Te
one
vale
through both
verga.
sides. Now you have the numbers advantage, and all of Rokkr are just going to back up, play their numbers.
Ya, 4-5, 4-5, espérate. Está en la ronda que Rokkr gana.
Full commitment to a gunfight, so I wonder if he just got melted off some team shots. Here comes
Espérate, ¿todo
some
para allá,
quick
ultra
aggression
o
though from Minnesota with the
a
numbers.
ultra? Porque Rokkr va a ganar.
Kleenex, no way he could possibly
Era el
expect
mínimo para cómo
that.
está.
But as Joe sees, maybe caught some timing here. Insight trying to pinch with it.
Oh, diablo, esto lo explotó.
And now it's just down to Joe.
Joe in a 1v4. This will be legendary.
Nope.
And you stand up.
Se van a castigar en TikTok. No estoy haciendo live en TikTok.
So many
Solamente
new
en YouTube
strategies
ahora
on
mismo.
their offense.
Yeah, really
¿Qué es
are.
eso? ¿Eso de la vena? ¿Qué significa eso? ¿Que el pana está a
Realize, okay,
fuego?
what works, what doesn't.
And how good has Burke been?
Ya vimos, nos
Good to get
llegamos al
this thing
presente.
done ASAP. Let's jump on in. Back into the action. Vault.
No sé, pero yo no sé si este juego llega
Will
hasta
be
5.
Minnesota on the opening offense.
And the break off is usually everything. Estro's going to take his time on a long route. His teammates are finding successful kills as well. So he's potentially going to catch them off guard, but he turns that corner, doesn't see anyone, and now he's lost.
Oh, they don't expect insight though. That's the thing. Kleenex follows up. Estrio
Ya,
wants a
ópera.
pistol whip onto Mercules. Welcome to the league.
Algo, pana, tienes que tener ese gallo.
But can't get the regen. Joe sees with the trade, and that first tick still lingers
What?
for Minnesota.
Okay, it's perfect there
Ese
for most
gallo.
They didn't put the additional fights on the break, but the guys who were still staying alive were able to find some impactful kills to now allow them to earn
El
these
dicho es
early
con la
seconds.
gallina, pero
The first
salió
one
el
now
gallo
is going to
primero.
be guaranteed. You have a one-on-one. Kleenex just going to back out of that position. All of Ultra coming off the respawn. But you still have number 4 in Kleenex taking his time towards Cat.
Yep, absolutely the case. Can lock down the lane, jumps on in, depletes part of that second tick of progress. Gio looking for him, not able to find him.
Cabrón, fucking
So
mercy.
now things start to reset for Rokkr.
Vamos a hacer algo.
Working for some catwalk control. Estrio, first one to push forward, can't make good on the angle. Hero shuts things down over towards B Street. Now trying to push into the site, but not enough clearance to make that route happen. And Ultra start to push up the map.
Yeah, this is why it's tough to go up against Ultra on this map because they're so effective on finding trades. The SMGs, even the ARs play with a tremendous amount of pace. Ever since adding the addition of Mercules, who can do both roles. But now with 25 seconds left to go, your last push is going to go over towards the
Kleenex
same
con
point.
5.
Narrow
Ojo.
finds an opening, but Kleenex again on the pitch.
Yeah, but he may have missed the timing towards the round. Both players having a tough time finding each other with the Omni movement in play. Mercules lots of damage, finishes off his target of Kenny. And this is the last opportunity now for Minnesota. Pauses the clock at, well, initially 6.5. Waiting for more kills to come through. And Kleenex wants to try to get this thing done before anyone can reinforce, but not going to happen. Just a small team kill. Double stack is in. Second tick should be good, if not the whole zone.
Yeah, this should allow Rokkr to stack this point. Extend the time early on. You're only going to be down by 2 lives, where you look like you potentially were only going to walk away with 1 segment. It makes something out of nothing, but now you got time to make some extra plays. Estrio finds a big opening through Vault, and even though Ultra have a lot of map control, you're already on the point.
Kleenex is trying to make sure things stay safe over towards Statue. Only finds the first. That's Nero now scaling deeper in towards the Ultra spawn. Joe with the perfect read. And the same front, you look to the minimap number 3 in purple. Insight's kind of doing the exact same thing to Minnesota that they were doing to them. So an opportunity to play off this long pinch.
Yeah, Insight, your job is just to be the safety net. Continue to be a nuisance, draw the attention on that side, and if you can find kills, even better. Only 5 lives remaining here for Rokkr. 30 seconds to go. Joe deceives, trying to assist Insight. Mercules finds one on the pitch. And it's looking like Rokkr are only going to get 3 segments on this round.
Yeah, Estrio just could not find Insight. That's incredibly well designed in terms of Joe coming forward to make sure his AR can stay safe. With the lives being as low as they were, that was a good condition for Ultra. Is just make sure there's no more respawns remaining. So, yeah, for Minnesota, you get the full zone at A, but nothing more as Ultra look clean in that back half of the defense.
Yeah, it's just real good from them. Even in the early round of that defense, you can give up those 3 segments. Those are really easy to get at that 8 point, but just throughout that entire round, starting off with these battles,
¿Y qué están bebiendo aire?
that first gunfight, always having the last man standing, giving your
¿Qué es
teammates
G-Fuel?
space to work with.
Yo creo,
Ellos deben tener
That's
una
going to be the biggest thing on both.
cuando,
You can
creo que
trade better.
para Modern
You
Warfare
can be the
3,
last
como
team standing in the
Monster era el
power spot.
sponsor,
You're
tú podías
going
tener
to
como
win
que
that.
latas de
Absolutely.
Monster. Yo ya siempre
Joe
he estado
will
con
carry a
uno.
5 streak into this second round.
Pero como no hay...
Nero had a
Cacho.
fire restart, 9 and 10. Kenny having a tough time getting things going from the
Pero
offensive
ahora
side.
mismo creo que como no hay sponsor de bebidas ni nada, pues no creo que puedan enseñar nada.
Yeah, this is where Toronto tends to struggle a little bit. They don't really keep up in the slaying, and Minnesota, on the other hand, outslay teams on their defensive side by 8 kills. All they go. Shut down that initial push. Now all of Ultra being influenced to spawn over towards one side, are just going to take their time to wrap back to ammo.
Good first terrestrial. Kenny right there to help, and whoa, this spawn trap is now well and truly in effect. So the C's being toyed with, eventually dealt with, and it up. 29 plays 20, only a single kill so far for Ultra.
Donde sea, donde él quiera.
Yep, this
Donde le plazca.
is hell. This is
Yo me voy a
absolute
tatuarle la otra de Yoshi y
This
el
is
mío.
not good. Kenny's on 5 in a row. Ultra looking for some breathing room. Finally, Kenny is going to give him a freebie. But 17 beats 26 with 35 seconds left to go. You don't have a single segment. You already lose a gunfight to the letter of back. You don't have the numbers. You got to keep on waiting.
Yeah,
Sí, mano, quiero hacer un brazo
this is
completo.
not ideal. Put it plainly. 24 seconds on the clock.
Hey,
14 lives. If you're Ultra, you're just hoping you can muster a tick or two. And actually, with that clean feed, that's going to be enough for a stack to come out. Kleenex makes safe the pinch. Now he can join. This may be an extra 60 seconds. And if for them to get 3 ticks,
La
it'd be a
escena de
miracle
Naruto
based on how that spawn
donde
trap
Peña está
works.
sentado en la lengua
that Rokkr just had on their
Sí.
Okay, late game heroics,
Esa
final
escena bien me
push,
va a
we
tatuar.
make something out of nothing, and now we get those 3 segments that we were looking for, but you're still down by 6 lives. You just have a lot of
seis
back control to go
tatuajes.
with it, so if you're Minnesota, you got to ice up.
Yeah, it
Diablo,
is.
mi pana, tienes chavos más. Prepárate para estos días.
Cooking things up
Después
towards the
con el
B zone. Minnesota not in the spot to fully contest this. Long route trying to be developed from
Anda,
there, but
espérate,
it's
está feo.
soon as the first tick is almost fully captured, but finally some kills come through on the zone, leaving Joe essentially by himself with Kleenex, but in a 2v4 moment, Kleenex provides the first 2 kills. Joe's still alive and can hold his position over towards Vault Stairs, and now Insight's on the cross.
Yeah, AR's already pushing the OE, so you can trap them in towards the backside
Qué
of their
buena,
spawn.
Insight.
Insight's able to win the one-on-one, and that's already 3 dead. We just got to get a stack going.
Nade up top to Estriel's direction, doesn't quite hit.
Kenny, qué buena.
Push out over towards Palms, finds one before being traded. 9v7, life advantage for Minnesota. Seconds of progress, though, going to get locked for Ultra. Here comes the challenge, Estriel, and the kills are there. Tick does get secured, though, as Mercules is the last one standing, and he will be taken out.
Ay, como sea algo de un taíno, de un arquiflecha, de los dioses, el yunque.
But Ultra, we're 18 seconds away from not getting a single segment. You will absolutely in the final moment accept 5 in your favor. You give yourself the advantage, but Rokkr secured the round.
Yeah, that is still unfathomable.
Eso lo tiene mucha
That Ultra
gente.
able to put that together.
Como yo soy taíno, qué bien.
Just so clean. The trophy system doing the work that it needs to. The ARs, honestly, are what decide those 2 ticks for Ultra.
Kleenex even whips out an extra one there. Why not? Finds a couple kills through the long streak. No, he didn't have time to. Or at least the preferred weapon to challenge those long distance gunfights with that SMG in hand.
¿Tú se lo regalaste, mono? Ya, es que mono es de los chavos.
Couple seconds to be guaranteed.
Ya, se consiguió un sugar.
Rokkr down this time around.
Mano, en Discord, ¿por qué te diste, mano?
Won't be impactful.
En Discord ya puedes poner historia. ¿O fue imaginación?
Heavy stack here for Ultra, playing over towards mid-cut.
Yo tampoco.
Works out
Y
for
si lo
one
ponen,
for
ni
one,
me voy a enterar.
some pressure on the zone, but dealt with. ARs again, lighting things up for Ultra. Kenny ready this long pinch. Kleenex having a tough time finding
Se te pega
able to secure the
los
kill.
disparates que
Insight for
decimos
another,
nosotros.
but Gio makes sure that there is no immediate spawn trap for Minnesota to start, again, resetting.
Yeah, we instantly got to clear our inside towards ammo because he basically lived in this building last go around, but
Voy a
Jonas
pichar
is
eso,
already
Fernando.
here.
Yeah.
And he's unaccounted for it. Also wins the second gunfight. Now all of Toronto are going to be pushed up in your face. You're going to waste a lot of time just working on your spawn.
Absolutely the case.
Uy!
Ooh, Joe sticks around that gunfight for longer than maybe you would expect. Not going to be able to. Now you've got numbers if you're Minnesota. Through poolside, though, is the only issue. And Insight is behind this play. Mercules
¿Qué te
able to assist
esperaba,
from the
ganador?
front, and that will shut down the catwalk play, leaving the last rock runner just
Lo
alive on the zone,
pillaron
and
como
Insight's
quiera,
right
diablo.
there waiting for him.
Yeah, Insight's just getting so active. Yeah. For a majority of this round, he was camping over towards ammo, and he realized, okay, I'm not getting any action, but I still want to be a part of the play. Times that flank to
me recuerde
perfection.
eso.
Everybody else is still slaying to bits with
Diablo,
the
Kleenex
SMGs in
con
hand.
3.
And Rokkr do not have a single segment on the round. They are just getting guns to shreds right now.
Absolutely. They are, again, not going to see a zone here. And the thing about this is, it's not even the fact that they don't see a zone up until this last moment, but most importantly, the life differential and the tick differential is going to be huge towards Ultra, building up a potential round 5 favor.
Oh, yeah, it's already locked in.
Nah, yo creo que este control se lo lleva a Ultra como si nada.
Minnesota only got 3 in their 2 offensive
Qué
rounds.
prendida fue
even
esta
if you go
ronda.
to round number 5, Ultra with their dominant shutout round there, guaranteed himself defense if you do all go to the distance. But the break-off from Ultra is beautiful because they gain so much information off the rip. They're only sending 2 players through Lion. Hercules and an SMG. Kleenex and Insight are working out towards the left side. Insight is spotting. Okay, they're not going for an heroic push over towards B. I can take space here. Kleenex, you work your way through ball, have a different angle of approach. Just draw the attention. And then they're collapsing from all those different angles. And even with Minnesota winning a majority of the gunfight.
Se supone que tú hayas escogido los tatuajes y los pagaste.
I think the thing about that in the moment is you're spawning pool. Like, there's just not a lot of opportunity for you to get around the map. Whereas Ultra, like you keep calling, just so efficient.
Ya no se ha
knowing
discutido.
how they can move up the map. Either lucky players as individuals, and now an opportunity. Again,
Por la noche lo hablarán.
in 4 rounds. Break off for Rokkr, clean initially to start. Joe in some trouble. And eventually eliminated. First tick of progress, getting depleted. Hercules trying to contest. Lands one, and then Insight. Geo pushing through. So Rokkr in trouble here defensively.
Yeah, 2v4. Yeah, we're not going to go through midline and try to contest that. We're probably going to allow you to have that for free and play a 2-minute defense. Put someone in position to work over towards ammo.
Suma la granada.
On this pinch and also find a kill. Now you have the numbers. You can fly on in.
Uno.
Hercules.
Ay, no sé
So
disparar.
demanding himself a hellstorm. Insight looking for Estro. Can't find him. Doesn't want to give up his life.
Ya madre, que el polvo no sirve.
Kleenex and the rest of Toronto.
Kenny,
Adios. Stun coming through allows Insight to find another. And that's an extra 60 seconds chance to quickly transition if Hercules can win the 1v1, but Geo shuts it down, giving Rokkr a light wire.
You already have a lot of pressure in towards both though, so if you can clutch
Qué
one
buena.
from this angle, it's going to make your job a whole lot easier. They already find the initiative 2. You got Insight watching the pinch to the middle of the map. That's 3 dead. Now you just got to stack.
Kenny finds one from up top, but has to keep his life. Geo through side door. Astro on the close play through stairs. Second tick being worked on. Astro the first one to drop. Kenny and Geo trying to contest. Have to get out, but
Tiene Kleenex
on the
con
pinch.
dos.
Kleenex will find 2. Could be the game-winning play right
Vete pa'l
there.
carajo.
Double stack is in. Geo
Se
trying to
acabó
get
el
names over the
control.
top. He finds one. The secondary stack is still here. They're down. The contest is in.
Adiós.
Astral's dealt
No,
with
déjate
one more
un
kill
juego, déjate un
needed,
juego.
and that will not do it. As
No,
Nero gets a
no
double
puede
at
ser.
the last second.
It gives Minnesota another line flying narrow with another big massive play there. Allows his teammates off the respawn to reinforce through B Street. But Ultra only need 1 segment.
Ahí vamos a matar a
Looking
Kleenex.
for the first kill to
Nah,
start it off, and
Kleenex.
Kleenex predicts perfectly.
You got to stay in the zone here. If you're Minnesota, and here comes a long pinch from Joe. Can't find the kill though. And dealt with on the cross by Geo. Huge play from him. Kleenex still alive for Ultra. Has AR support behind him. Just has to keep his life on the zone. Playing over towards stairs side. Nero pushing up. Hercules trying to challenge, but it's Nero
¿Lo qué?
again!
Ya lo Nero con
3 for
3.
Nero. Geo cleans
vete
the
pa'l
floor.
carajo.
8v5 Minnesota still
Con 5
alive.
vidas
Just
contra
gotta take
8.
some space, man.
Ah,
We
lo
cannot
vieron.
fight another wave
¿Lo vieron?
of trades
No, no lo
going
vieron.
down because you got no more respawns if you're Rokkr.
This last hit. Is it red? Astriel cleans up 1. Need to keep the position well and truly in hand. It's TDM though. There's so much time on the clock. And Kenny's going to be under threat next.
Ay, qué.
No need to do anything. If you're Minnesota, they have to touch the point before you get information. Still a minute to go.
Every battle a big one. Joe deceives able to find Astriel. Ultra starting to brew up with the stack over through mid. Kenny watching the initial cross.
No hay
He's
vida
got
ya.
help from
3
Geo
contra
behind him. These are
6.
the last 3 defenders though. Everyone has to step up right here, right now.
Gotta lock it in. The pressure's
Ay,
already getting through Vault. Joe
God.
finds the first.
Geo up top, shots in range. Hercules backs him away. Here comes the pinch from Nero. It has to be successful. You have to find these
No,
guys. Kleenex
ya lo
finds
quedó
it. Just down to
fuera.
Geo. Last chance to jump on and contest. First one's clean. Second one's
sí,
there, but
llevado.
just too many to deal with.
Bueno,
And
GG
Ultra
con
takes three.
control. Ay, ay, ay.
Just here right now. Skyline hardpoint, nat 4. Let's go.
And
No!
Rokkr need
Yeah,
this match. They need to make up in the CDO points to put themselves in the mix for champs.
fucking
They're gonna
DPS,
start off
¿dónde
on the preferred
están?
side that they want for that P1 to P2 chain. The ARs are dominating the top lanes. Now let's just jump into the HP.
Good stuff here. Good break off.
Nada de ver este jueguito.
Kleenex trying to create a route. Gets through. Has some space to work with and just kind of dodges
Kleenex de verdad se está perdiendo por el mapa,
on the
loco.
backside through elevator back to Jim, and in that moment, Ultra clean with the kill feed. Bounce the map around, and Kleenex finally gets himself an engagement to possibly influence spawns.
Yeah, you just got to take care of Nero because everybody else from Minnesota are already going to be in a position to shoot you in the back. Nero tries to finesse, but gets caught by Joe Deceives, but thankfully your teammates are already back into the mix. They're dominating through that mid-map. They're soaking up at least 25 seconds off of P1. Now you got the numbers off the roto.
But this is where we want to see Joe Deceives have an impact by himself. Trying to block spawns, trying to find kills and stay alive. Gets one. How about a second? Mercules on the other side will start to move the spawns. He drops to Kenny. Is there a hunt here from Joe Deceives? Sure looks that way. Kenny finds the second, but the rest of Ultra spawn up. They deal with it, and they're in the hard part.
They find the trade onto Kenny. Inside also finds with the map. Your fourth teammate doesn't spawn near you, but thankfully you're able to stabilize and account for every single player. It's already 3 dead. Minnesota trying to find their way on into this, but this has been a flawless hold from Ultra.
Yeah, it's been really good, and a lot of it coming out of just the catalyst of Joe Deceives. Hercules stunned. Joe picks up and helps. He's been all over the map, like legitimately, in terms of what you're looking for out of a Flex SMG. He has been everywhere, and how about it? He's there again for the trade. Pistol out. Maybe he has a 1v1 with Geo coming. Doesn't expect it. Ultra still good, though, for the scrap time.
They're going to walk away with it for the final 15.
I know,
now Rokkr have to set up off the rotation. You currently only have one player in that position. Everyone
chamaquito.
Kenny's going to lose that first gunfight, but
Pero
thankfully the trade is there.
Kleenex.
You're still going to spawn over towards Cabo, but Minnesota, you got to continue to hold.
Joe is everywhere.
Estamos hablando de personas individuales.
On every front, and then when he doesn't need the help, he's making plays. Heck of a start for JD, but now Minnesota over towards P3. Able to battle back, give themselves a chance to hold on to the right side of the minimap, but they're losing numbers. Kenny predicted by Joe.
Diablo, loco, Joe va 11-6.
And that will make this next hit very one-dimensional as Minnesota has to hit from the front.
Yeah, because Rokkr, you don't really have time to go on routes here. There's still 30 seconds to fight for, but you also do not want to flip these spawns, so this is going to be your last attempt. Narrow pinch from top flat. You see the dust from his feet.
Y tengo que hacer 20 porque no hice los 10 de mono. Me cago en nada.
You're going to basically soak up a majority of this time here where you were late if you're Ultra.
This is unbelievable from Ultra. And with 10 seconds remaining, now they can start to move across the map. Spawns are fully in though for Minnesota. Have to win this wave of gunfights. Geo Kenny find the first two.
Fue a dar pausa. Yo no voy a hacer 30.
Trades though from Hercules. Unbelievable on 5 in a row. Kenny gets his trade.
Joe
right back in the mix. Stun comes out. Doesn't affect Nero though. And with team shots from Geo, Minnesota will stabilize.
Yeah, it's big time right there for Geo to find that double on the way. They already have one player spawn out, but
como Tito, estás como todo el chat.
Ultra to spawn right next to you.
Voy a poner un conteo, voy a poner en papelito y todo.
They're usually unbreakable here at this P4 because there's so many layers that they create that makes it so difficult.
Well, the first 20 seconds are decent, but now here comes the next hit.
Yo con dos.
Dealt with. Yeah, Insight just cannot challenge. Nice little heady position here, though. Wow, pistol out finds one. Mercules
aún así sin contar a Fred. Todavía no está 5.
Finds the first, predicts the second, and that will flip the
sí, mutea todo el mundo.
First scrap, 22 seconds, looking good for Toronto.
Believe it or not, that was a massive pistol kill there out of Insight because your teammate also finds a kill at the same exact time. So now no longer Minnesota have that back secured. They lose the spawns, they get out flooded, and Ultra able to find a break for a good chunk of time there. Gonna be up by almost 50 at the end of this first set. Minnesota looking for a response because last time they couldn't touch P2. Yeah. They need to keep this out of the map.
There we go, 4 down. 100 to 55, the current tally. Minnesota working on it quickly. Geo getting a read on where Ultra are coming from, but how do they get that response? There's a little track back. Ultra now all of a sudden essentially send back to sender. And that's another full 4 dead, this time Ultra back into the hard point.
And this is what makes Ultra probably the best Skyline
Ya
team
lo
that we
vete pa'l
have in the game
carajo.
because their breaks are phenomenal. You find it at a good time to soak up a lot of time. There's still 30 seconds here at P1. You're trying to hit a couple rounds, trying to get out of this trap, and they are giving you absolutely nothing to work with.
Yeah, Kleenex even sees Estriel on the cross through kitchen. Well, Joe trying to chase down the kill, doesn't work out. Kenny also supplies another from inside the hard point, leaving inside by himself.
Hecho, Mercury está 20-13, Joe 18-12.
And how about the timing of that?
Ahora mira Kleenex ahora, Tito. 8-14.
Another on to Nero, but easy trade for Merc. Hard point about to open up, and Ultra have the numbers.
Oh, and if you're Rokkr, you
Está en
need
voz
to,
alta.
you're gonna need to find a
Yo me
break
quedo
here,
sin
find it
aire.
quick, 'cause
Si yo
last
cuento
time you
en
did
voz
not
alta,
touch
los
this
puchos me
hard
quedo
point.
sin aire. No llego ni a
And if you give
20.
them a full 60, it's basically gonna be a
Posiblemente llegue a
GG
15.
on the series and potentially a GG on
Si
your
te
chance
quejas de
to
que los
make it
demás
to a
te
chance.
quién sabe, Tito. Pero yo también creo que puede ser el delay. Quién sabe los próximos 3 puchos que faltan llegan después.
Off the regen, deals with more. He's got
Sin
help
palabras,
over the
tío,
top.
lo sé, mano.
And they've got to
Un
read that
cerdo.
Nero's playing over towards patio side.
Anda,
Joe
dice que no quiere arruinarse con su puesto.
21-13.
Ah, no digas eso.
50 seconds
No es la primera vez que lo hago.
Career series.
¡Qué puerquita!
Even the rookie, 23 and 15.
Yeah.
20
A
seconds.
veces, en verdad, hoy no es tan hoy no está tan caótico. Hubo un momento que habían como 8 personas en el Discord y yo, diablo, espérate, que no escucho el juego.
You're trying to go through piano, you're getting cut down. Final hurrah right through mid hallway, and there's still players from Toronto here to contest.
It's about that time though, Jay. It's about time for someone on
Mi
Minnesota
voz es
to
fea
just
para
pop
salir en
5
sus
pieces
videos.
and Minnesota to wake up. Who's it going to be? It was Estriel, map number 1, the spark plug for Rokkr.
Vámonos.
Really, you don't care who it is, as long as someone gives you something, especially over the top of this third hard point.
¿Cómo que viene esa cuchilla, Mercury?
So now it's our objective to soak up all the time as we possibly can here at P3. You're dominating the kill feed currently. You don't have the spawns that you want, but just continue to hold, continue to fight.
Maybe it comes from Kenny. Already got 2. He's shots on 3 in a row. Chance to rotate over.
A mí, están abajo por 100 puntos, pero...
And Kenny's going to be aware of that. There's the follow-up. Kenny
Kenny sigue.
4 in a row. And it's around that time again. Rokkr down 90. Time to wake up.
It's unbelievable. They just keep on shooting themselves in the foot and then playing perfect COD towards the middle of the game. Only going to be down by 70. Still have control of cobble spawns that you want. And there's still a good chunk of time here at the old HP, but all the kills light up in purple. There's only one player on this side of the map, but with Ultra getting aggressive with those kills, you're spawning all the way across.
But is Ultra aware of this? Estriel can still hold this position over towards the top. Stuns, nades come through. It does not hit Mercules in this tight corner, though.
Ya no me perdí, yo no sé cómo...
Opportunity to try to
Creo que él
isolate deep
perdió
onto
eso así,
insight.
¿no?
It's just Joe Deceives now from inside the hard point. Kleenex trying to help out through wardrobe. Not quite able to get there, though. Shot some Geo good. Nero in the hard point trying to survive behind the bathtub.
Anda,
Mercules
el
finds 2, and everything goes neutral.
Ya lo Mercury con 3.
Another 4-man dead. Just Geo last one left alive, and he will fall immediately.
You can't afford this if you're Rokkr. You were banking on this time to get yourself back into the game, but again, Ultra
Ya, no
trying
puede
to
ser,
break
yo creo que
at the
eliminan a
right time.
Minnesota
The rookie's
obligado.
able to open up with a triple through bottom closet. And now you need this time. Rokkr cannot give it up. Everyone working their way through bedroom. They find every single kill in the feed. So they're able to walk away with the final 15, but still a long task ahead of you.
Yeah, Kleenex trying to open up some focus for Joe to move his way in from the front. Not going to happen, though. Mercules over the top of Hot Tub. Finds his first, half HP, it helped from Insight. And what a follow-up that is from the AR line of Ultra. They're going to open up P1 to their name.
Mercury está 29-22, loco. Era Kleenex este Tito.
Don't really have a lot of time to waste. You can't
Pero
develop all
viste,
these
no es que
long
está...
rounds underground. You need to find a break because they only
Está bien, la
need
primera
25
partida él
left.
compió, so
Two kills are good.
damos el beneficio de la duda.
Trying to teamwork inside out, who's just spamming down the railing up top. And he's got info on everybody.
Diablo, loco,
He's run out of
pegando todo el
ammunition.
mundo.
He's just got a pistol left. Just trying to be a distraction. Kleenex following up.
Mira que carga la pistola, no tiene balas,
Semtex eventually comes through and Insight's about to have no ammunition for anything.
No tiene
Finally
balas,
sent back to respawn.
Yo creo que no.
But Ultra only need 8
yo
seconds
con
and
dos.
Hercules will stay alive to make sure there's no
Tacho,
spawn
es
flip.
demasiado, que le
Just
faltan
want to
muchos
maintain this
puntos.
side of the map. Minnesota have yet to be able to touch that P2 hard point, and that has been a difference in this game. It's cool. You can walk away with that final 20, but you need to get aggressive with these kills. Not camp over top plat because you know Ultra, they are banking on this setup once again.
Double hit for Minnesota over towards patio. Joe with the read. Insight working with him. Trade looks decent. Yeah. How about more? How about more?
Joe.
How about it? JD Mercules cleaning things up.
33-24 para el chamaquito va a cerrar el juego.
Not gonna happen.
GG.
And Ultra continue the lower bracket.
Mira, mira. Ya ahora como le dice adiós. A ver.